Good evening and สวัสดีครับ Welcome to Thai PBS World. I'm Thep Chayong.
I am Natha Gomonmartin. We bring Thailand to the world and we bring the world to Thailand with report and analysis. Especially, we bring you updated on political news in Thailand.
And we are here every Thursday night. And tonight we'll begin with the story about probably one of the biggest scandals that have haunted the Prayut government, especially Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan. It's scandal about the 20 or so luxury wristwatches that he was seen wearing on many occasions for a period of time. The point of the whole thing was that he was accused of failing to include these wristwatches as part of the assets. He was required to declare to the National Anti-Corruption Commission. But today, the scandal seems to have come to an end, at least for now.
We should say it's a story that we have been waiting for how it will finish. And finally, today, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, NACC, which has proved in this asset of his luxury watch, said it makes sense that it belongs to his friend.
Now, in short, the NACC ruled that General Prawit is not guilty of concealing assets as a suspect or accused by his critics. So this is what we see on the screen now is the press conference being given by the Secretary General of NACC, Kun Warawit Sukbun.
In terms of timing, it's quite interesting, Kun Thep Chai, because yesterday NACC has held a major meeting, a series of meetings, and in fact, they scheduled to have this ruling of wristwatch of General Prawit, but finally they have postponed to today. And finally we can see that he is not guilty.
The whole thing centered on the 22 luxury wristwatches. Some of them were reported to be as expensive as millions of baht, right? And these watches were seen worn by General Prawit on many occasions. And then the pictures of these wristwatches went viral on the social media.
This is the very picture.
And that was the day that the whole thing blew up. I mean, when he was having a photograph session at the government house, and all of a sudden he just raised his hands and to cover his eyes from the sunlight. And then somebody noticed that the watch he was wearing was probably one of the most expensive wristwatches in the world. I mean,
Richard Mai. It's about 3 million baht. But the story broke out from social media, and perhaps he didn't realize that the family photo of the cabinet members will be the origin of this probe of the luxury watch and his asset.
And then there were further revelations about the wristwatches, and in the end, it was discovered that he had worn as many as 22 luxury wristwatches. But General Prawit fought against the accusation, insisting that all these wristwatches were not his. They belonged to a late friend, Kun Pattawat Suksiwong, I mean, a former very wealthy businessman and a good friend of the General Prawit. And Kun Pattawat, who has passed away already, I mean, was very generous. I mean, he often lent his wristwatches to his friends, including General Prawit.
And it's been teased in social media that everyone would wish to have the same kind of friend who is so generous and so kind in lending these luxury watches to their friends.
The ruling today didn't come as a big surprise for many people, because the public perception of the whole thing is quite different from how the NACC sees the case. The members of the public, many of them anyway, have strong doubts as to whether the government or the powers that be are serious in tackling issue or problem of corruption. And they see this case as a good example to test the will of this present government on this issue. One of the major concerns of many people was that the chairman of the NACC, Police General Vacharapon Pracharat, was very close to General Prawit. And even though Police General Vacharaphon recused himself from the case, he didn't attend today's meeting, people still have doubt whether the NACC was really, didn't take the case seriously and try to really dig deep into the case enough, to find out what the real, the real thing was.
Yes, but for General Prawit, it must be temporary relief for him for now, before the New Year celebration. But finally, it will add up more pressure, especially on Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that in the next few days, the reporters will be asking questions related to this issue, with General Prayut. And of course, let's see whether how Kun Prayut, the Prime Minister, would handle the issue.
Yes, because it's the timing of the year that people would like to see what will be development in terms of politics. And one more thing that happened today is the meeting. It's like this time of the year that General Prayut Chan-o-cha, or Prime Minister of Thailand, will be meeting with Privy Councillor General Prem Tinsulanont. And it's quite a meeting.
Yeah, it has become an annual ritual for government leaders to make a courtesy call on General Prem, President of the Privy Council and a statesman, to seek blessings on the occasion of New Year's.
Yes.
Kun Prayut and members of cabinet, including the members of the military top brass, did get blessings from General Prem. But along with the blessings, also came some caution, some cautionary, a piece of advice and a piece of caution, from General Prem, directed at General Prayut Chan-o-cha in particular.
Yeah, or should we say that the words of wisdom from Privy Councillor, like General Prem to General Prayut, about he should try to take care of his foe or competitor in politics, that he shouldn't treat them as enemies.
This is exactly what General Prem said to Kun Prayut.
Yes.
Treat your critics as friends.
Yeah.
Even though
That's
General
quite word of
Prem,
wisdom.
who's now 98 years old, but still very mentally alert.
Yes.
Even though General Prem did not address the issue of Kun Prayut temperament directly, but we believe that he certainly want to send a message, of concern, to General Prayut over this issue, because we know that Kun Prayut is a man who is easily infuriated. He's very sensitive, of criticisms against him, either from friends or foes.
Yes.
So this piece of advice from the elder statesman, General Prem, was very timely and was very direct indeed.
Yes. Also, he praised General Prayut for his dedication as leader of the government, and he told that General Prayut, I know that you have been working very hard for the country. That's also some words from General Prem to General Prayut.
General Prem also called upon both the government and the opposition to sort of treat each other as friends as well.
Yes.
They can be critical of each other, yes, but as friends. And of course, General Prayut, after the meeting, the group meeting, he later had a short meeting with General Prem.
Yes.
He came out and said to the media that, yes, I'm now a friendly person.
Politically, perhaps General Prem doesn't intend to convey this message as political message, but Kun Sudarat Keyurapan, she is the head of strategic committee of Pheu Thai Party, has some feedback after hearing piece of advice from General Prem that General Prayut should listen to his advice and follow his advice. That comment coming from Kun Sudarat.
But in fact, General Prem was addressing effectively one of the biggest weaknesses of the Prime Minister. He's being oversensitive, toward criticisms. But the past 1 week hasn't been a good week for General Prayut either. Besides the direct comments from General Prem about his temperament, he also has come under a lot of pressure, to declare whether or not he's going to align himself with any particular parties to be a candidate for as Prime Minister in the coming election. And even the party that has openly declared support for him as Prime Minister, the Palang Pracharat party, has also been in hot waters.
Yes, especially on raising funds on the gala dinner on that particular night that they have got the fund, more than 650 million baht. But right now, the name of organization which donate the money is being questioned whether it's associated with government organization or not.
So this is a picture, a scene from that happy night when the party managed to raise as much as 650 million baht in funds for the election. But the problem was that there were many tables in the function. Each table, has had a price tag of 3 million baht. Some of the tables has the abbreviation of names that are believed to be names of government agencies. For example, there are names that imply that these tables were paid for by agencies like the Finance Ministry, like the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, which legally, government agencies are not legally allowed to make political donations. So this has raised quite an uproar. And now the Election Commission has taken this matter into its hand to take a look at each of the individual donations.
Yes, so they will have time for 30 days to investigate, probe this allegation whether the donation organization is government organization or government unit. So EC has to clear the air about the allegation against Palang Pracharat party.
So this is a party that has declared full support for General Prayut to return as Prime Minister. And it has also been criticized for using a variety of tactics to poach former MPs from other parties to make sure that they will have popular candidates in the upcoming election.
Yes. And Kun Thepchai, you mentioned from the very beginning that the last week is not quite good for Prime Minister General Prayut, but the beginning of this week perhaps even more intense.
That's right.
When he got feedback or open letter from former Finance Minister Mom Pridiyathorn.
It looks like adding an insult to injury because this direct criticism came from a person who used to work very closely with General Prayut. Don't forget that
the first batch of the cabinet
Pridiyathorn used to serve as Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister for the Prayut government during the 2014 and 2015. Before he was replaced by Kun Somkit. Right?
And he came up with very clear 8 reasons that General Prayut shouldn't be the next Prime Minister. He posted that on Facebook. It's like open letter to General Prayut. Some of the reasons that he cited in his letter is like, because the management style of the government is lacking fiscal discipline.
He said the present government under General Prayut has been very inefficient in using budgetary money, the budget. And the government has been squandering money on what he sees as not productive projects. And of course, in the last few months, we have seen the government spending on so-called populist projects. Like giving out freebies to people. And Kun Pridiyathorn also cited the purchase of submarines, which cost the country tens of billions of baht, as one good example of the lack of discipline, physical discipline of the government.
Also, he mentioned it's conspiring with people around him to set up a national oil corporation. It's another reason that General Prayut isn't fit to be next Prime Minister.
It's quite interesting that Kun Pridiyathorn raised this accusation of the government wanting to set up a national oil corporation, because we didn't quite hear any real attempts toward that direction. And in fact, the government was if you remember, there was a period not long ago that there were proposals from the non-governmental organizations for the government to set up a national oil corporation to nationalize oil businesses. But the government didn't respond to that request. So we were quite surprised that this was raised. And it was immediately shot down by Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit who said the government, General Prayuth and him never thought about, having a national oil corporation.
Yes. Another reason is about international relations, that foreign policy of General Prayuth government shouldn't take side with one particular country, or in short, too differential to China.
He cited the construction of the high-speed railway, which the government have China as partners. And Pridiyathorn believed that the government should have invited other countries, to compete in the bid, to build the rail project, not relying only on China.
Yes. Some more reasons mentioned by Kun Pridiyathorn is currying favor with certain major business corporation, indecisive out of fear of losing popular support, and the last one, problems with temperament. That's all the 8 reasons that Kun Pridiyathorn mentioned why General Prayuth is unfit to be Prime Minister. And now let's hear more from Kun Thirachai Phuvanat Naranuban. Oh, no, we have some more reason from General Prawit Wongsuwan. Let's take a look at what General Prawit gave feedback after he see 8 reasons cited by Kun Pridiyathorn, or Hmom Ratchawong Pridiyathorn. He said it is driven by a personal grudge.
Yeah, I think it was. He see this as something personal.
Yes.
It's quite interesting because General Prawit and Kun Pridiyathorn used to be very close.
Yes.
because they used to work together, and we believe that it was Kun Prawit, General Prawit, who persuaded or invited Pridiyathorn to take up a cabinet post in the one of the first Prayuth government.
Yes. So overall, it doesn't help General Prayuth to be in a better position with 8 reasons from Hmom Ratchawong Pridiyathorn.
Now we have heard reasons why Prayuth shouldn't be Prime Minister again. Now we should. So the question is there any other person who are fit to be Prime Minister?
Yes.
So we will hear from someone who has the political experience to at least to give some comments.
Yes, so now let's hear more from Kun Thirachai Phuvanat Naranuban, former Finance Minister. สวัสดีค่ะคุณธีรชัยคะ
ครับสวัสดีครับ
ค่ะ So in your opinion what should be character of the next Prime Minister?
Let me start by saying that Thailand was caught in the mire of political storm before the coup d'etat, and it revolved around the personality of former Prime Minister Thaksin, who still retained influence over Pheu Thai party during that time.
Yeah.
And that led to the coup d'etat against the Yingluck government. So after the coup d'etat, the country had a window of opportunity to start anew, or to at least lay the foundation to start anew in terms of political direction of the country. Well, unfortunately, General Prayuth failed to do so. He failed to pave the way for political agreement going forward, and also at the same time, I think he led the wrong type of economic policy, which also hopefully the next government will have to unwind.
I see.
Yes.
So what do you think are the biggest challenges awaiting the next government?
First, let me point out, the major policy mistakes in terms of economic mistakes that was committed by the economic team under General Prayut. Basically, instead of formulating policies with the general people at the center, looking fully at their welfare. Instead, the team, I think, had an eye on trying to win the upcoming election, and gear the various policies towards trying to win that election. So there were many populist policies that came forward. Instead of trying to win people away from populist measures that had been introduced in the past governments by both Kun Thaksin and Kunยิ่งRak. Instead, the team copied some of the policies of the previous government and used them during the tenure of Kun Prayut. But also a lot of the projects, a lot of the programs that have been introduced by the team under General Prayut also ended up favoring the rich, either in terms of the mechanism of the scheme itself or the direct benefits of the scheme. And it led to the income that had been generated in the past few years being unevenly distributed, with perhaps too much, too high a proportion going to the well-off. But not only that, Thailand had been measured and had been declared by a Swiss banking corporation as an example of a high percentage of concentration of wealth, within the hands of the richest 1% population.
Income inequality, right?
The policies introduced by the previous government only worsened this problem.
Yeah. So the economy, in your eyes, is the biggest challenge.
The challenge, going ahead for the government after the election will have to be, how to roll back, some of these policies that have been failing the companies in the stock exchange more than the general people, and we have to try to actually introduce a real reform into the machinery of government to ensure, to give confidence to the people that they will be equal under the law, truly equal under the law, as well as to spend money not on populist policies that concentrate on immediate consumption, but instead, try to invest in people, try to give them better opportunities, as well as try to give them tools at the various levels, such that they can achieve lower costs in maintaining their lives going forward.
Okay. All right.
Basically, the next government will have to concentrate on giving people better tools, better opportunities in order to help themselves, in order to, that they have better future, they have better hope going forward. And at the same time, they will also have to make sure that the tax regime is reformed such that the people who are in the top echelon have to be forced to take up a greater share of the burden.
Okay, Khun Chai, we hope we will have another occasion to talk about this issue in detail. So thank you very much for your thought tonight. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was Khun Chai, who was quite critical of the way that the present government is handling the economic issues. He had strong reservations about the effectiveness of the populist policies, some of which he believed that should be rolled back after the next election when the new government comes to power. But that remains to be seen whether any government would want to really go against what the members of the public want.
Yes. And Khun Chai, all the roads in Thailand are now leading to election on 24th of February. And we could see different organizations have pointed out the stance or what's the practice from their point of view. And one organization is PNET, or People's Network for Thai Election, has proposed 10 rules that the good party shouldn't do. So let's take a look at what are the 10 practices proposed by PNET.
We call them the 10 no-nos. Introduced by the PNET. PNET is part of the Open Forum for Democracy Foundation, which has been working actively to promote dialogues on political issues and monitoring electoral process. So these are the 10 no-nos that PNET believes that politicians and parties should refrain from.
Yes, it's very interesting with the proposal of 10 no-nos. So let's take a look. The first one is no freebies, no favors in any forms. No vote buying, no buying of ID cards, no free banquets, no harassment or intimidation. So that's the first 4 no's. And next, no verbal abuses, no abuse of state authority or budget to influence voters, and no support for gambling on the election. And let's take a look at the last 3 no's. No free excursions or pleasure trips, no free transport on election day, and no transgression of laws. So that's totally 10 no-nos from PNET, or People's Network for Election in Thailand. But the question would be how to put this no-no into practice and what PNET is going to do from now. Now let's listen to Khun Laddawan Tanti Vittaya Pitak. She's now with us on the phone. สวัสดีค่ะคุณรัตดาวันค่ะสวัสดีค่ะคุณรัตดาค่ะค่ะคุณรัตดาวัน is Vice Chairperson of PNET. คุณรัตดาวัน so what's your plan in implementing these 10 no-nos?
No, 10 prohibition or 10 do not.
Yes.
It is just an attempt to campaign for clean election. So we come up with this 10 no-no. You like me to explain what is the 10 no-no?
No, I think we have shown our audience the 10 no-nos in details, but I think we have a question. These 10 no-nos seem to be very basic problem that we have been facing for many years, right? They are not new.
Can you speak loudly? I cannot hear properly.
So the 10 things that PNET wanted politicians to avoid, for example, not to buy votes, not to buy ID cards, and not to organize free trips, right? So these have been very basic problems that we have been facing for many years. So why do you think these problems have not gone away? We have been talking a lot about the progress of democracy in Thailand, but it looks like we're going nowhere. So the question is why these problems still with us?
I think some politicians or some parties they believe in old tricks to win the election. Maybe they do not aware of feeling of the general people, general public, that they like to have to see some change in politics, some change in election.
Yeah.
And I think this is the main problem, that all politicians, all parties believe that all way of doing can win people's heart. But I think perhaps they may need to see new way of doing, because after this year of crisis, people have passed through many. They learn many things. They learn a lot of things, and I believe that people like to see new things in election. They like to see new candidates, capacity candidates, good candidates, good policy, not all tricks to win the election.
Kuladawan, we got some feedback from the audience. He said this PNET is very good, need 100% priority, clean election. That's from Kun Jing, Pu Tha Ching Sing To. So people agree with PNET procedure or PNET announcement of 10 no. Is this the first time that PNET announced this?
No, I mean from the last election we always publicize, do campaign, motivate people, make people understand that what they should do, what they should not do.
Yes.
Not only the politician or the party, but all the public. To more realize the importance of seeing things that this act, this behavior is not accepted, or this kind of thing is should be accepted. So we always doing this from the last election.
I see. Kunadawan, I understand that the PNET has been sending people into the fields, right, to upcountry, to many provinces, to collect information related to the election. But so far, have you seen any evidence that politicians are going to use the same old tricks in this coming election? Any evidence?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? Because I cannot hear. I'm in Khao Yai, sorry.
You're in the right place at this on this festival. But I understand that PNET has been sending people to upcountry, right?
Yes, we have network, we have volunteer.
But have you come across or found any evidence or any proof that politicians are going to use the same old tricks in this coming election?
Well, old tricks is really, I mean, they start a campaign for members. They're already giving out money to buy ID card.
I see.
And this is what we got the report already from general people, from our volunteer.
I see.
When we organize a meeting, they said, oh, this happened. That distress, people go out and, ask for ID card and giving them some money. Already done.
I see.
So I think that, well, maybe they still have all set of mind, perhaps, or mindset. So maybe we need to remind them that that all three may not work this time.
Kuladawan, you told us that you have network of PNET around the country, and would they help you in terms of following up with this no? Do you have channel of report from people around the country?
Have what channel?
Do you have plans for your volunteers, your network around the country to give information of wrongdoings for politicians?
We have about 60 provinces being our network, and each province we organize volunteers to cover as much as they can. Perhaps all districts, perhaps all sub-districts, depend on their capacity. But we will make sure that all these 60 provinces that we have been talking with them, and they are voluntary to help monitoring and make a record, observing to, nowadays it's really easy to do clipping to get information. So at least about 60 provinces from our network, they will send us regularly their observation report. What is happening before the election, during the campaign, and during the election day. So what we are now planning to do. And we also try to campaign for general public to do the observation, to do some observation, and we also have channel for them to send us the report.
I see.
So we can also, not only through our network channel, but for public. So we can rating evidence or document that we have to see how relevant of the report to get from. So all the report will be rechecked. Yes.
Do you think in this upcoming election, vote buying will still be as big a problem as it used to be?
Vote buying, will be the critical problem, and I think, but not very easy. I mean, you have to understand that before the publication of royal decree on election day, some people feel that they can do things that prohibit in the law.
Yes.
So during before the New Year Eve, during this Christmas Day, New Year Eve, maybe some people think that they can freely do what they like to do.
They have parties, they have free trips, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think this can be a risk because whether what they did now or after the royal decree on election.
Yes.
The case will be decided by election commission if it has been brought to PCC consideration or if it's been brought to the court. So that will be the time to see that whether they can do all parties, all handling, catering, food, drinking, all these things. If they do it now, it can break the law. And this depends on the judge.
Yes, does PNET have a plan? Kuladawan, does PNET have a plan for political parties to make public commitment to follow this guideline of 10 no-no?
Oh, yes. Actually, on the 21st December, PNET with another foundation, Peace and Cultural Foundation, and Peace and Human Rights Institution of New University, we have gathering contract signed by the party, commit to the people that they will keep the law. They will abide to the law.
I see.
We have done that.
Okay.
That's great.
But
yes.
So
that's what we do now is a follow-up.
I see.
So they have made a promise.
Yes.
Let's see whether they will keep the promise or not. So thank you very much, Kuladawan, for your information and for your campaigning, which I think is very important for Thailand at this juncture, because despite all the talk about how what kind of progress we have made, with democracy, but these are the problems that are still with us. Vote buying, politicians exploiting the legal loopholes to have an edge over their competitors. Kuladawan is right. As long as people's mindset about election doesn't change, then it's very difficult to really, get people to go and vote independently and not listening or be under pressure from politicians or canvassers.
Yes. with the time of running up for election, which is the first election in more than 7 years. It's very good opportunity for the media and the public to be informed about the political parties' policy as well. And just yesterday, there was a first panel of discussion about policy of different political parties to make better life for women. And I was the moderator of the session yesterday. So let's take a look. The women's organization who has taken part in this conference, in this panel discussion, and we have representatives from 6 political parties joining on the stage to listen directly from women's organization.
So it was a message from women to women.
Yes, and it's very clear, very important message, because for women organization who was on the panel are from all walks of life, women who work in informal sector, or people who are facing gender discrimination or gender-based violence, and women who would like to seek better treatment in terms of childcare and housework, because they really want the public to see that their life and their work is really important, and they really want to hear what the political parties have planned to upgrade or to improve women's life.
So it looks very likely that we will have a very active women participation in this coming election. Most of the parties have already sort of put up would-be women candidates.
Yes. Yeah. I think the representative from 6 parties must be front line of women of each party. Like this one from Palang Pracharat, Kun Thanikan Pornpong Sarot, she's from Palang Pracharat Party, the new fresh in politics. She stressed that body of knowledge for long-term development of women is needed for women in Thailand in general, and that's the plan that she would like to educate body of knowledge for women for short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Because nowadays the world is so complex, Kuntepchai, it means women need more knowledge to manage their life and to take care of others as well. The next one, this one is familiar face, Dr. Rachada Thanadirek from the Democrat Party. She has proposed the existing plans by the Democrat Party about sex education, which should be taught from young age, so that there will be respect for human rights and women's bodies. It means both boys and girls should be taught in sex education, so they would be aware of human rights and how women's body should be treated with great respect. The next one from Pheu Thai Party, Kun Lilawadi Vacharobon. She said the plan of the Pheu Thai Party is women should be able to work in the environment which respects their dignity. It means that the party would like to revise many laws that perhaps limit women's opportunity at work, like equal pay, equal work, childcare, and especially she emphasized how workers in factory should be prepared because AI, digital technology are coming, and that may replace human labor.
So we are in the last week of 2018,
yes.
And we know for sure that after the New Year's break, the political scene will definitely heat up as the elections approaches.
So we should say Happy Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.
Right.
And we will come back to see you again next Thursday to welcome New Year together and with more updated in politics before election in Thailand.
And for tonight, good night and สวัสดีครับ
ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ